Hello, pattern lovers. You're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video, I will be showing you how to go about this trendy sheen skirt. It's so beautiful, and it's a slip skirt that you made with your satin skirt. So I'll be showing you how to go about the flat pattern making method of the skirt, and trust me, it will come out so well. So yeah, the back is just a regular slip skirt, but the front has this drape effect. And if you're interested, let me show you how. So note that whatever thing you're doing on this skirt should be unbiased for it to flow that well, but you can also do it without bias. But for easier flow, just make sure you cut unbiased, and by bias, just fold your fabric like this, and the folded part will be your center front. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to go about it on a straight pattern, and then when you want to transfer to your fabric, you go ahead and transfer that on a bias folded fabric. Now the next first thing you're going to do is to come down to 1 inch. So regardless of your pleat width, you're going to just come down to 0.75 or 1 inch, and here I'm choosing to do 1 inch. So I'll start from the waistline, come down to that 1 inch and mark it, then use my straight ruler to connect it like this. So here we'll start taking the measurement. It's still part of the measurement, but we'll start from there. So now you're going to determine your pleat width, and by that I mean when you fold and you measure how much is going to give you. Here I'm settling for 1.75, and whatever you settled for, you're going to times that by 3. Let's say you settled for 1.5 times 3 would be 4.5, but for me 1.75 times 3 would be giving me 5.25. So from this 1 inch down, I will mark 5.25, and then I'm going to mark another 5.25, then another 5.25. If you notice, we have 3 of that on the skirt. So yeah, you're going to do 3 of that from the 1 inch or 0.75 you came down from your waistline. So I'm going to mark the same thing here, 5.25, 5.25, and another 5.25. And yeah, I'm going to just connect it like this. So each of them will be giving us one pleat, and in total, we will be having 3 of that pleat. So now, by the time you're done folding all of this, you fold the first, the second, and the third, you're going to end up with 5.25. Do you understand? And my hip line is about 8.5, then plus this 1 inch. So 5.25 plus 1 inch, 6.25, and I'm going to place it 6.25 on this last pleat line, just on this line. Then mark my hip line. Are you following? So I'm marking 8.5 here as the hip line, and then I'm going to just measure from the waistline all the way to that point and mark it here on the center front, just so I have a straight line. Then I'm going to connect it. Now I'm going to label this waistline 1 inch below the waist, first pleat, second pleat, third pleat, and then the hip line. The next thing we are going to do is to just place our hip line on the hip line, yeah, and then go down to the knee line, yeah, then down to the skirt length. So measuring from the waist all the way, or from the hip line all the way to the knee line and the skirt length, I'm going to mark it on the center front, just so I have a straight line and connect it like this. Now we have the knee line and the skirt length. We'll go ahead and start taking the measurements. Now I'm coming here on the waistline. What you're going to take is your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Yeah, we'll be talking about that later, but yeah, for now I marked about the hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Don't worry, I will explain all of this. Just keep following up. So I'll mark it here. I'll also mark it on the second pleat, and the first pleat, the second pleat, and the third pleat. Then I'll come to the hip line and mark the hip measurement divided by 4 plus that same 2 inches. But here I mark the exact hip measurement divided by 4. Then coming down to the knee, I'm going to minus 1 inch from what I have here on the hip and mark it here. You don't have to contour the knee too much, just 1 inch is okay from what you have on your hip line. Your actual hip measurement divided by 4. Then you're going to connect from the measurement you have on the waist, on the first pleat, on the second pleat, and on the third pleat, all the way to the hip line. Do you understand? But here you see how I'm connecting it. But what you're supposed to do is to just add the same 2 inches to that. Since you already curved the knee, you add 2 inches to your hip measurement too, then you connect all of this to that, then you blend it in from that point to the knee measurement. That's the essence of us having the actual hip measurement divided by 4 without adding anything, just so we get the knee contour. And then coming down to the skirt length, you're going to do your hip circumference divided by 4 plus 6 inches. Yeah, that's like the standard. Then you're going to connect it, and it's already giving that A-line shape. Then you're going to contour this part with about 1 inch, just so it's not looking all pointy. Now let me show you what to determine how much you add as is to your hip measurement divided by 4 on this skirt, on this front part. Let's say the difference between your waist circumference and your hip circumference is less than 10 inches. You're going to be adding even 3 inches here, because that means you don't have a flat tummy. Sorry to say that, but yeah, that means that your lower abdomen is actually bulging, and if you don't add any much excess, it's not going to drape nicely like you see it on the thumbnail. So for me, since my waist circumference is 26, my hip circumference is 38, that means that the difference between my waist and my hip is 12 inches. That means that 1 inch will do it for me. Adding 1 inch to my hip circumference divided by 4 will do it for me. But then if your case is just 10 inches or below that 10 inches, just go ahead and add about 3 inches, so that, yeah, it will give room for your lower abdomen and drape nicely. But here, what I'm doing is just the hip circumference divided by 4. While transferring to the fabric, I can add the 1 inch. But I hope you understand this calculation. You are trying to create a space for, yeah, the lower abdomen, so that it won't take all the fabric. So that's why you have to add much excess to your hip circumference divided by 4. Remember, this is a flat pattern making, and you're not draping on your body. Yeah. Now for the back, I'm simply going to go down to the hip line of 8.5, and then down to the knee line, and then down to the skirt length. Just the same measurement I use for the front, 8.5 for the knee, for the hip, waist to hip, and then I'll measure down to the knee and then to the skirt length. So by the time I'm done with those folds, it's going to align with what I'm marking here now on the back pattern. Do you understand? Right now, you're using your actual measurement, both the length and the width of your body for this back pattern. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to mark my zipper allowance here on the center back, because here is going to come with a zipper, but an invisible zipper. Then I'll go ahead and connect it like you see me do it here. The measurement will be starting from this center back line. Then I'm going to mark my bust span measurement divided by 2. That's your nipple to nipple to take in the dart. And then from that point, I'm going to go down to about 5 inches or 5.5 or even 6 inches. Then I'll mark the bust span again on that point and connect it with a straight ruler like this. And this is where I'll be taking the dart. For the dart intake, I decided to do 0.625 on both sides of this line. That's about 1.25 as the dart intake for this waistline. I'll connect it in a dart form this way. Then take my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.25 dart, and then I'm going to come down to the hip line and take the hip measurement divided by 4. There's no that intake. It didn't get all the way to the hip, so you're not replacing any that, and you're not adding any ease. Then on the knee line, I'll minus 1 inch from the hip measurement divided by 4 and mark it there. Coming down to this skirt length, I'll be doing the hip circumference divided by 4 plus 6 inches. Yeah, the hip circumference divided by 4 plus 6 inches, and then you go ahead and contour this part like we did for the front part, so that it's not looking pointy. If you're cutting this on the bias, you see that at the end of the day, it just naturally contours itself. Do you understand? So yeah, I'm going to be cutting it out because it's just as simple as that. And yeah, after cutting it out, you're not contouring the center back. Yeah, just leave it like that. So now let me show you how to go about the pleats. Remember, I said you're going to be cutting this on bias. Please, even if you do your pattern like this now, placing it on your fabric, just go ahead and fold your fabric in a bias form. Then you place your skirt on it and cut it out. It's as simple as that. And then also, just the same way you would add a facing to your cow neck pattern, just go ahead and add a facing to here, or better still, you join it. But then for the pleats, since we did 1.75 times 3, what you're going to do is to first, you're going to notch all these lines From that 1 inch we came down from the waistline, you notch it, you notch the first pleat line, the second pleat line, and the third pleat line. You're going to notch it like this even after transferring to your fabric so that you have a uniform pleat. Then now you're going to come up here to 1.75. From this first pleat line, you come up 1.75 and then you fold from that point and place it on this 1 inch. We came down from the waistline. Can you see what I'm doing? So fold it nicely and then you place it. You go to the other side of your fabric and also fold it. I'm assuming that you're doing this on your fabric, yeah? Then for the second one, you also go up to 1.75 and then you fold from that point and place it on the first pleat line, on exactly on your notch, on the second notch you have on your pattern, yeah? Then you repeat the same thing on the third one. Here I'm trying to pin it down so that it stays in place, and I'll show you what the third one looks like so that it also stays in form, so that we measure the skirt length. You see that it will align with the back. Here you're also going up 1.75, then you fold from that point to the second notch you have on your pattern. And after doing this on this one, you're going to repeat the same thing, the same exact thing on the other side. And that's why you have to notch it so that you have a uniform of this after you're done, so that you don't have to struggle how measuring again. Once you have a notch, it's going to come out and drape nicely. So now measuring from the waistline down here to the hip line, you see that I have my 8.5 hip line, then I have my actual knee, and then I have the skirt length, which is the same thing we have for the back. Yeah. Then I'll cut off this part. This was the starting point line, which I haven't cut out, and I just did that now. But like I said, please notch the other side of your pattern. Notch like once you cut this on your fabric and you before opening it up, notch so that yeah, you have it uniform. Then once I bring in the back pattern and try to match it up, it's giving the same length. The knee line, the hip line, everything is just aligning because we did the calculation well before cutting. So if you are doing this on your pattern, which I would even advise if you cannot do it directly on your fabric, just after cutting out your pattern, the only thing you have to do on your fabric is just to fold it in bias and then you cut it out. Yeah, so that it gives you that bias slip skirt, satin skirt. And you're using your satin skirt or any flowy material. You can even use jonkoso. Yeah, something that is as flowy as those fabric. That's what you can use to make this. But yeah, this is just how you go about this skirt. And if you tried it and it comes out well, don't forget to come back to say thank you. And I hope to see you on my next one. Bye bye.